So if somebody's finding themselves in that place, that 250K crisis or whatever that level might look like for them, what is one thing you would suggest they do?
What do you really want?
Yeah, ask that
You
question.
have to ask yourself the question.
Yeah.
Not what the world says that you should have, not what your peer has, not what your coach has, not what your partner may say you should have, not what whomever you read in the book said you have. What do you want?
Yeah. Love it.
Once we know what you want, and then you have to have a big enough why behind
Mhm.
what you want, because
Yeah.
that's the other piece. If that why is not clear, you can want to have a $250,000 salary, but you can go
Uh-huh.
get a job and get that.
Yeah.
Why do you want it this way? And are you willing to let go of the way that it shows up for you?
Yeah.
That's the other piece because we like to control it. It can only show up if I sell these two programs that I've been working 2 years on, right?
Right.
I don't know
What
if
if it
anyone
could
can
be
relate to
something
that, but
different?
it
Yeah.
may show up differently. And are you open enough to receive it the way that it needs to be received?
Yeah. Beautiful.
That's what I ask. And
Beautiful.
most people don't know what they want.
Yeah, that's interesting. You think that people do, but I think you're right. I think that people, there's so much that shapes what somebody wants in their business.
Yes, yes.
And so that pause, and I'm always a fan of stopping and pausing and listening to that inner wisdom inside, doing that inner work that helps you find that clarity. But it's like really letting go of all the outside noise around and being just true to what's
It's the
there for
noise.
you.
Yeah.
Hello, my extraordinary women friends. As we step into a new quarter here on Extraordinary Women Radio, we're opening into a powerful theme: authority and prosperity. This quarter, we're having conversations about what it means to be known for your work, to lead with presence, and to build a business that supports both your success and your life, and also makes a ripple effect on the backside of all of that. This is about making an impact with your work. Today's conversation with Shayla Boyd-Gill fits beautifully into that. Shayla is the creator of the $250,000 crisis, a lens on what happens when growth stops growing and when we get to that certain level. Let me just start this over again. Shayla is the creator of the $250,000 crisis, a lens on what happens when growth stops responding to effort and begins asking something different on how you lead. Her work centers on women who have built successful businesses and are now navigating the next level of leadership, decision making, and sustainability. In this conversation, we explore what really shifts as you move through six figures and into multi six figures and even into the next levels. The ability to be able to see these patterns that happen each time we're stepping into this next level, and why more strategy and more visibility doesn't always create more growth, and how authority evolves at this stage into something you can fully live and lead from. We also talk about prosperity in a fuller way. This is going to be a great conversation. Let's jump in with Shayla Boyd-Gill. Well, welcome to Extraordinary Women Radio, Shayla. I am so excited to have you here today.
I'm super excited to be here too, Cammie. So thank you very much for the invitation.
Yeah. You and I have been running in the same circle for a bit, and I've gotten to know a bit of your work, but we've not had the opportunity to actually jump on a call and get to know each other more. So this is really fun.
This was important, Cammie. One thing about the internet is it's really easy to say we have all of these friends or connections, but I
Mm-hmm.
value real interpersonal connections. I
Me too.
value speaking to someone and getting to know them and not just be an internet friend. So I'm glad
Totally.
we're able to do this.
I know, me too. I'm really glad. And I think it's so important that we do make space for that. Okay, so
Absolutely.
I want to start with you. I want to start with your story.
Ooh.
You have a really unique body of work that is, specific to a very specific group of women. Tell us a little bit about how you came into working in the body of work that you work in.
Oh, this is a beautiful question. And it's a long journey. I'll say I'm 23 years into the work that I'm doing.
That's
And
awesome.
one would have never expected me to do this because I started out in my career as an engineer, construction engineering technology,
Oh, wow.
and mechanical engineering. So I worked
Wow.
in the construction field and only made it for 3 years, Cammie. But what I understood in that 3 years was I would never reach the potential of what I was meant to be.
Mm,
And I said I was the triple threat for the company that I worked for. I came in as a very young person, African American woman that lived in Washington, D.C. So I could get you minority contracts.
Mm-hmm.
I could get you contracts for being a woman owned, a woman that's part of the business. I can get you contracts for being a DC resident. I had no ownership in that business. I knew there would never be a time when I would be in a top level in that business. It was someone else's family owned business, which I understood. I said, beautiful, but there was no place for me to go there.
Right.
The second thing, Cammie, is I noticed that everyone that was on the top floor was on the verge of divorce.
Oh, wow.
Work life did not work.
Right.
And I didn't want that to be my journey. I was already married, 2 children in, and I said, this is not possible for me. So I made a decision a year before I left. I said, this time next year, I'm not going to be working here. My husband was like, how do you know that?
It's because I know.
I was like, the gut knows. Well, what we didn't know is I'd be pregnant and having a baby a year later. He said, oh, this was a setup. I was like, no, it wasn't a setup. But this is a good segue into how things happen. I left, had to figure out how could I start generating money because we still needed a 2-family income.
Right. Mm-hmm.
What do I do really well? I don't know what my skill set is. Then the funny, quirky thing it was, I'm really good at having babies. Who says this, Cammie? Who says? And everyone's looking at me like, what? I said, look, I had the most amazing birthing experiences. And all of my peers had horrible birthing experiences. Mm-hmm. What did I do differently? And I understood it was the support that I had and the education that I had along the way. Mm-hmm. So my first journey into entrepreneurship was being a childbirth educator,
interesting,
a doula, and a lactation support person.
Wow.
I did that from 2003 until 2015. In 2012, I said, I like to sleep. I can't do this for the rest of my life.
Up in the middle of the night delivering babies.
Babies don't have a schedule, right?
No, they do not.
So they show up and they love the middle of the night. And I love my sleep. Mm-hmm. And I understood and I said, you know what? I'm not going to force this. I have done the work of the universe. I am Mother Goddess, did all things. And by then I had 5 kids of my own. I said,
my goodness.
Yeah, the middle of the night, leaving my husband with kids. He's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And I said, what's next? Most of my clients worked in government. Uh-huh. They did not want to go back to work. Mm-hmm. And they said to me, how did you decide to start your own business and why?
Right.
Would you be able to help me?
Oh, and interesting. So people started asking you then.
The birthing clients turned into business clients. And I didn't know I was going to be business coaching. I was just like, what do you do well? Same question. What do you do well? How could we monetize that? How can we set things up? Everyone was saying, your business is so structured and professional and organized. I'm like, I don't know what you're really trying to say. But what I got was in our birthing industry, we were really earthy. Birkenstock. So no one had like these structured, I had these branded folders and logos and business cards, walked around with a credit card machine. I was like, this is a business. Yes, I love Earth, but this is a business.
Right.
And so people started asking me and I studied more and I supported more and I saw my clients becoming business owners. I said, you're missing out on something here. So between 2012 and 15, I said, if I could replace this birthing income with business support income,
right,
that's what I'll do. And I've been doing it since then.
Oh, that's a great story. I love that.
I've grown up with my clients. Yeah. My clients grew and created bigger businesses. I grew and created bigger businesses. And that's how I got into this consulting and coaching world around business.
Oh, I love it so much. It's, it's interesting because I kind of took a very similar path. I had the corporate role, left the corporate role in 2008. And initially I was coaching executive women.
Oh, yeah.
But all my executive women kept jumping ship and starting their own business. And I was like,
okay,
I can help you. And so it was a very similar kind of a story where it circumstance just really opened up that door that way. You really landed in, you help women when they get to that $250,000 crisis?
That's
Tell us
where
a
I
little bit more about
graduated
that.
to. So
Yeah.
something I've learned, Cami, is that we can start the business. There's so many people that are holding your hand when you start a business.
Right.
There's so many books and courses and coaches that are out here because everyone can tell you how to start. They're like, people like to create a foundation and a structure for you. Most people can start a business just fine. Where the challenge comes in is sustaining and growing that business.
Right.
Many women by a fluke get to 6 figures. They'll get that first 6 figures, but it's often not repeatable.
Yeah.
And they're asking themselves, what did I do wrong? Yeah. What happened?
Like they get that space, and then there's something
they
falls
get
off
there, and then we saw this during COVID too. Yeah. You saw a lot of people, because people were home, people had a little bit of money, and people were bored. They're like, oh, let's buy this. They've never been able to launch again and do that. They've never been able to have those conversations to convert as well again. And so I have what I call the 250K crisis, because what I know is there's just a small percent of women that will get to 100,000 or more in their business, but there's half of those women will make it to 250 or more. And
which is
know
a sad statement, right?
It's very sad, and it's being sold that it's easy.
So is being sold as being easy, which drives me crazy.
So we are like the middle children of the industry of our, if you think of the middle children of this entrepreneurial world, we are the ones that kind of get abandoned because they're like, we can teach you to get to 6, or we can scale and really grow this 7-figure business. But in the middle, in the middle, people are like, oh, you got it. You're at 6 figures. And there's so much shame that happens at this level in business, and they're not places to have the conversation about it.
Yeah. Oh, I so appreciate that. I see that happening out, in communities that are out there. And it's like, how do we break through and give and support people through that? Because I support a very similar level group of women, like moving through that stage. And when people say it's easy growing your business, I don't know one person that ever said it was easy, but there's a lot of marketing out there that says that.
The marketing implies that it's just this. It's not one thing that you have to do. It encompasses so much,
right?
And more than the thing that you have to do is the person you need to become. That's so the piece that's not talked about enough. It's who you need to become to be able to really navigate the 6-figure space. Because the person more. Yeah, the woman that's getting to her first 6 figures, she's in that exciting phase. She's in kind of like a survival of, I can do it. I'm trying to beat this thing. And then when you get to 6 figures, you think you're going to breathe. Oh, I'm going to breathe. I'm recouping what I made in corporate. And then you realize the money's not there. Because if you made 100,000 in corporate, you brought home that 100 or so. Yeah. You make 100 in business.
That's not the same
the
number.
The bank account looks different.
Yes, it does.
And then you realize you need so much more in order for you personally to have 100 for yourself.
Right.
And then it becomes a mental game. Yeah. Do I have the space, the capacity? And the biggest instinct you have is, let me do more.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw money at it. Try to do these ads because someone said their ad program worked really well. I'm going to hire this marketing person because they said all I need to do is post all day. I'm going to join this thing. So now you even have less money to take home because you're throwing money in hopes and prayers that it works. Yeah. And then you find yourself the next year, you're repeating that same cycle and you're flatlining. So you keep making the same amount of money, but there's no growth. Yeah. And you are shrinking in this process.
I definitely went through that stage.
Didn't we all?
Yeah. And so I love that you're naming this, right?
Oh, we have to name it, Cami, because if not, women are going to suffer.
Right.
They suffer in silence. They suffer with the woulda, shoulda, couldas. They suffer with the maybe I should have stayed at corporate. Yeah. I don't know if you ever went through started just kind of
there was
looking at job
there
opportunities.
There was definitely days where I was like, oh gosh, do I want to go back?
What do I do?
And I always had a big no, but there were, the
I had the no. And thank goodness I had a mom that says, are you really going to go back with those 6 kids at home? And I think I kind of set myself up because I homeschooled them. So it
Oh my
wasn't as simple
gosh.
as put them in school and you can go to work.
Yeah.
I set myself up so that my no would have to really be a strong no. I would have to jump through so many hoops to quit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what worked for me. But I said, Then I said, you know what? You're not even hireable. What in the world is going on, Shayla? You didn't,
That's
your
very
resume,
true.
people are going to be looking like, why are we going to hire you? You're going to leave any minute now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'd have a hard time going back into that world. So let's talk about what women do to break through this. Like, what's the breakthrough that you teach?
So the thing is, when a woman gets to this place where she's hitting either this wall of 250 or she's repeating 100 and some change, maybe she's a little bit more than 250. Again, that first instinct is buy something. So they'll come to me and say, I need help. Yeah. I don't have enough leads. I don't have enough visibility. My sales aren't working because everything they used to do is no longer working at the rate that it used to work. It's working, but it's not working well. Right. And so
so much has changed in the world of marketing and business at this point.
That part.
So something that was working 5 years ago is not working.
And they sold you an old program, right? They sold you the old program that worked back in 2010.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
The thing is, they will often come to me. I let people come to me with what they think they need. And I can tell you every single time what's needed. And the thing that we have to work on is their clarity. It sounds like, oh God, here we go, the word clarity. And I hated it. I hate to say it that way, but if they're not clear about who they're becoming and they're not clear about how their business is structured, no matter what little fixes you try to put on top of it, it will continue to dip every time. Yeah. And I really focus on how do we get clear about what you want? How do we get clear about how your business is structured and the vision for it to be structured for growth? Yeah. Most of the time we were winging it to get to 6 figures.
Yeah.
And so
you were just throwing a lot of extra products.
Look, you're like, hey, do more, offer more, get another bonus on top of that stack because they told you to stack the offers, right?
Oh, they totally did. When I started releasing products out of my business, it was such a beautiful thing. It's like the simplicity of like, oh, okay, wait a minute, there's a pathway for my clients, and
that's the key word.
Involve 10 clients or products.
The key word, you just said it, is simplicity. Yeah. And so instead of me having them speed up and doing more, I have them slow down. I love it. Slowing down scares most people. Yeah. Because you have to then sit with your thoughts. Yeah. You have to sit in silence and allow what needs to come to you. And that might be that decision, as you said, of letting go of a few of those things, letting go of those babies that you thought, I can't get rid of that offer. I can't get rid of that person. I can't get rid of that thing. But sometimes we have to let go of the weight. Yeah. Because if we don't let it go, we're just carrying
and we don't have space for the growth. We don't have space for the scaling.
You don't.
Because if you just have too much and you're always focused on something different.
A mess, okay?
Right.
I don't care what they tell you. You can't scale a mess. And sometimes your job is not to scale. Sometimes it's just to grow and have something that's sustainable first before you can scale. The mistake is coming in and trying to scale something that's not fully functional.
Right.
Because then you just have a bigger mess. Right. You probably throw more money at it trying to scale it, and it's still going to be a nightmare in the end.
Yeah. It's so interesting. It's very similar to, because I look at it through vision, voice, and visibility. So vision is it's the vision of the life you want to live and the business you want to create, but it's also the business model that creates that. So we're so in alignment with that, right?
Absolutely.
We're so very,
and I love that you're saying that, because most people think of a vision as like this business plan. And you said it, it's the life you want that goes along with that plan too.
Because you wanted to have space for your kids.
Did we not leave work and leave corporate because we thought we were going to have freedom?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, go back to those days of long hours, right? No way.
Right. When I left, I had the audacity, and it's still on my old computer, to write my letter of my freedom from this corporate world. And when I think about that, I really thought, I'm going to be in charge of my time. I'm going to be able to live this life this way.
Mm-hmm.
But I had no idea what that really looked like. And
Yeah.
nor did I have an example of a business owner in my family. I'm the first.
Yeah.
So I went to university. I have a degree. They didn't teach you how to run a business. They teach you how to be an employee.
Right.
They teach you how to be great in someone else's business.
Mm-hmm.
You can take courses. Even when I did certifications in the birthing world, they teach you how to do the skill of being a trainer or being a doula, but they don't teach you how to run a business. I had to figure that part out. And most of us don't know how to be CEOs.
Right.
We were
That's
never
so very
trained to
true.
be
We weren't.
leaders.
Right.
We don't
We were
know how to
trained to be a
lead.
leader in a corporation where you had team members, but you
You
weren't
had
trained to be
you
the
had the
leader of
team members.
your work, right? Of the work that
Yeah.
you're bringing out into the world. And I think you've done an amazing job of really building your brand and your
Yeah.
authority in this space. It's, a lot of what this whole quarter we're really putting our focus on authority and authority
Mhm.
building and also prosperity. And so how those two tie together.
That part is huge. And that prosperity piece is a part of your vision too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a part that most will overlook.
Yeah.
Because
so
you're
talk to us
chasing.
a little bit about that for you. What's that journey been like as you found your authority in this space?
Yeah.
How the prosperity came alongside of that?
One of the big things in this, I can even say, even back to being in the birthing world, part of prosperity for me was reciprocity, being able to give and to receive, being okay
so
with
true.
both. You have to be okay with both.
Yeah.
A lot of us as women don't know how to receive. Okay.
So true.
So, even if it's as simple as receiving a compliment, we don't know how to receive a compliment without justifying it, without feeling like we have to put a price on it, or we have to say it's because, instead of just saying thank you. We want to say thank you and, oh, I got this on sale, or thank you and, oh, I did this thing to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my work has always been, I'm going to do good for someone, and it always comes back around. Same thing when I got into this area of business, I helped who I could help. And as I had more people that were able to invest so that they could work with me, I also worked with people that were not able to invest. I'm like, how can I support some other people? Because these are not the only people that need this help.
Right.
And when I look at that prosperity, I always say what I need will always come to me. It will always be available to me. It's the mind also, how we're thinking and the language that we use. I can tell you that my children, as homeschoolers, they probably are sick and tired of me. But my biggest thing is words have power. Anything that I'm speaking, anything I'm saying, I'm very mindful of the way in which I'm saying it, because I'm attracting what I put out there. And so I'm always teaching, let's not speak these negative things into the world, or let's not even speak our worries, because your mind is going to focus on those things that you worry about. Yeah. So when I look at prosperity now at this phase in my business, I've built my business to a point where now I have like a nonprofit where I can really do bigger work to be able to support more young adults, so they don't have to wait until they're 50 like me and decide I want to do something different. I know a lot of women that wish they could have left their corporate world, but they didn't have a vehicle to do that. They didn't have a way. They didn't have the resources. Like you said, in corporate, you can be a great leader, but you have resources in a team. People are scared to step out without that. I have a way now to be able to support, teach, and lead outside of my for pay business in a way where other people can be supported very easily. That's
awesome.
And
so awesome.
I just, as a matter of fact, got off the phone with one of my clients. One of the ways I have my clients support me, after they've invested a certain amount in working with me, now they're also able to invest in my nonprofit and say, okay, you've paid me. Can you invest in this if this aligns with your values and if you believe in this? And they do. And so
awesome.
I have ways of being able to make sure that money is going where it needs to go. And it always pays off. It's a ripple effect. It's beautiful. We call it Lux Giving. It's one of my pillars is Lux Giving. So we're like, how do we give back? I teach all of my clients, even if you're not able to give monetarily, how else can you give of your skill, your energy? Is it just your time that you're doing? Do something that feels good to you and make that a part of you and your business. Your business is not just the money.
It matters so much when you can give, and you can, you see what can happen when
Yeah,
you compile resources like that. One of the things we've done at my
absolutely.
Ignite conference every year, is we find a nonprofit, and we
Yeah.
have raised funds for a single mothers to receive a car through a
I
nonprofit
love
that's
it.
here.
Yeah.
And we've done
Yeah.
that multiple years. And it's like so much fun to hand over a set of keys to a young woman who
Yeah.
is a single mom, and just know how that can change their lives. And so looking for ways that you can create an impact is always so important.
Yeah. And as you said, like using your event, being able to do it together,
Yeah,
knowing that you are
exactly.
all a part of something that's very impactful, that's
Yeah.
going to change someone's life. I always think, I'm like, what if it were me? What if
Yeah.
I were the person that needed just one person to believe in me and
Yeah.
do and reach out and support me? I want to do that. And I'm teaching my children to do the same too.
Mm,
So, like, when we started the nonprofit, I said to them, mommy's going to start this nonprofit. Here's what I'm thinking, but I need to hear from you. What do you see that people your age, like my older children, what do you see that your peers need that's not being provided? Or what are the challenges that you all are having?
yeah.
And we know those challenges, some of them are creatives. They want to start businesses. We have three pillars. It's a business, it's mental health. There's a lot of mental health issues that are occurring for our younger people. They have access to so much more online
Hmm.
than we did,
Right.
and it's impacting the way they think and the way they feel
Mm,
about themselves. And the third one is being able to have access to education. Like, is
yeah.
it as simple as, helping with some resources while they're in school, making sure they have what they need? We can do that. We can do that. We can it
Mm,
doesn't have to be a lot, but a little goes a long way. And figuring out how to just move and not be that person that's, we don't have to be on camera saying, look at what we did. But,
right.
being able to say, it's done.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. That's taken care
It's
of. Or
taken care
I
of.
found someone that can provide you with 10 sessions just to get you started, and maybe we can get you
So
more,
fabulous.
you know? Simple
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. And it's like and what I see that as using your authority for good. And it's like, I love that you just even said it's just somebody has provided this, and knowing
Yes,
that impact has been created that way is so powerful. I love it. Love
absolutely.
it. Love it. Um, I'm going to hit on a couple of things that you talk about. You talk about containment before expansion. What does
Mm.
that actually look like in practice?
Oh, that's expansion is a choice.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. And in order for you to make that choice, you have to understand what your actual capacity is. And
Mm-hmm.
this goes right back to that vision and your clarity.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot expand something that you've not thought out.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I say, like, and you probably speak about this with people with their vision. You have to almost step into that version of that vision that you want. Like, people will say, well, I'm not there yet. I don't know how it'll feel.
Yeah.
I want you to dream about what it's going to
Yeah.
feel like.
Feel it.
How would you
Right?
want to feel if you were in that place?
Yeah.
How would you navigate the world? What would be different about you? Can you see yourself feeling lighter in that
Mm-hmm.
space?
Mm-hmm.
That's where your expansion is. But if
Yeah.
you're trying to expand from this place of already being full, you're not going
Yeah.
to
You're
make that
constricted.
shift. No,
Right.
you're gonna self-sabotage one way or another because you don't see yourself having that capacity.
Yeah.
And you can't do it if you're not clear. And most people don't want to sit still enough to get clear, because it
Yeah.
means you have to get deep, honest, and vulnerable. And we are vulnerable like alone, but being vulnerable with other people, you have to find someone that you trust.
Yeah.
You have to find spaces that you trust. And this is why so many people are using AI as their vulnerability person. As they're going back and forth, because AI is going to say, oh, girl, you're right. It's
You got
okay.
it.
You got it. But sometimes you need a dose of truth
Yeah.
and hand holding at the same time to say,
Absolutely.
okay,
And
let's
AI
slow
can't
this
do that
down.
for you.
They can't do it. No, it's going to tell you what you want to hear. That's all it
Exactly.
is. But yet
Exactly.
that expansion piece is, everything goes back to clarity.
Yeah.
Clarity and a vision.
Yeah.
You have to be clear.
Yeah.
We can't
And that's the
skip any
part of
more
the becoming
steps.
part, right? Just like you talked
That's
about,
the
the
becoming.
stepping into who you're becoming is like
Yes.
really walking in like the strength and the light of who you are. So that
I like the word light. Yes.
Yeah, I do too. It really resonates for me. So it's like when we find our light and we can walk into that,
Yes.
that's who we're becoming.
Yeah. And the light is there. You know, right now it's just for
It's
many it's
totally.
dimmed.
Mm-hmm.
It's dim. They have
It's there.
this lens
Mm-hmm.
here, and it's often a false lens
Yeah.
because it's been created by other people.
Yeah.
So here's something else I see. Most people are chasing dreams that other people have made for them, not dreams that they've made for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
That's very
you
true.
have to define your own dream.
Yeah.
Someone told you, you should do this.
And
You
you
should
should
do
hit
that.
this. You should be there. Yeah. A
I
lot of
hired,
shoulds.
yeah, oh, the shoulds are
Yeah.
crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hired this person for some mentorship for a VIP day in 2024. Beautiful
Uh-huh.
woman,
Mm-hmm.
very good with helping me to see things.
Mm-hmm.
But by the end, we had created this idea for my business. And I was all in the room. I was like, oh, yeah, this is it. This is going to be so freaking amazing. By the time I got back to the place I was staying, sat with it, closed my eyes, woke up horrified. I'm like,
No,
this is not
that's
it.
not. That's not
I
it.
was like, and it felt bad because sometimes we'll invest and we
Mhm.
feel like we are obligated
Yeah,
to
I was going to
follow
say
through
you
on
had
the
to really
thing.
trust your gut and knowing that
It's a
that wasn't
crazy
it.
one. It was
Yeah.
not it. It was an expensive not it lesson. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't regret it because I needed to hear it that way so that I could realize that that was not what I was
But it was
chasing.
something different.
It was something totally different. And I
Yeah.
appreciate it today. And you never know, it may be something in the future. But in that moment, I had to say no and be okay with the loss.
Yeah.
And that was the year I decided to sit still.
Yeah.
Like everything that I had normally been doing in my business, this is
Mhm.
where I say sometimes you have to slow down.
Mhm.
I did it real time.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in my own stuff, hearing what I needed to hear for myself, getting super clear. And I said, this is what it really feels like, huh? This is what it feels like. And I wasn't even in the 250K crisis, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that can happen at any phase. Even if you're at a higher level, it
Yeah.
still can
Yeah.
hit you
I think that's
where
an
you feel a
important
shift
message, right? It's a,
Yeah.
we're going to always be going through our next level shifts.
every time,
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
And I realized I understood, like I had gone through the 250K crisis before, like,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, as I grew, I was like, surely I'll never go through that again. I'm like, oh,
No.
screw you. Look at this.
Yeah. So if somebody's finding themselves in that place, that 250K crisis or whatever that level might look like for them, what is one thing you would suggest they do?
What do you really want?
Yeah. Ask that
Well,
question.
you have to ask yourself the question,
Yeah.
not what the world says that you should have, not what your peer has, not what your coach has, not what
Mm-hmm.
your partner may say you should have, not what whomever you read in a book said you have. What do you want?
Yeah. Love it.
Once we know what you want, and then you have to have a big enough why behind
Mhm.
what you want, because
Yeah.
that's the other piece. If that why is not clear, you can want to have a $250,000 salary, but you can go get a job and get that.
Yeah.
Why do you want it this way?
Yeah.
And are you willing to let go of the way that it shows up for you?
Yeah.
That's the other piece, because we like to control it. It can only show up if I sell these 2 programs that I've been working 2 years on, right?
Right.
I don't know
What
if
if it
anyone
could
can
be
relate to
something
that,
different?
but you know,
Yeah.
it may show up differently. And are you open enough to receive it the way that it needs to be received?
Yeah. Beautiful.
That's what I ask.
Beautiful.
And most people don't know what they want.
Yeah, that's interesting. You think that people do, but I think you're right. I think that people, there's so much that shapes what somebody wants in their business.
Yes.
And so that pause, and I'm always a fan of stopping and pausing and listening to that inner wisdom inside,
Yeah.
doing that inner work that helps you find that clarity. But it's like really letting go of all the outside noise around and being just true to what's
It's
there
the
for
noise.
you.
Yeah. The thing is, people like tactics.
Yeah.
People want to buy a tactic. They want a framework. We all have frameworks in our business. but I can't lead you with the framework first
Yeah.
until I know you and why we're really doing this.
Yeah.
Because I can keep you busy.
I love that a lot, actually.
Yeah. I'm like, it's easy for me to keep you busy with something in my framework, but that doesn't serve you, nor does it serve me. And I know it's temporary. It's a temporary high. So you have to be willing to, and one of the questions when people are considering working with me, are you willing to tell me the truth? Are you willing to go deep enough so that we can get to where you need to go? And if that going deep enough means slowing down just a tad bit, just so you can speed up. That's where the difference is made. And I have the authority to be able to say no when I see a person is just coming to me just for a sprint. If you're coming just for speed and hope, I can't sell speed and hope.
That's good. And I love the honor in that. I really do.
Yeah. It won't last you. And I'm a mama bear. I'm fighting for everyone. So I'm like, I can't fight for what I know you need more than you are willing to give yourself what you need.
Yeah. Beautiful.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. So good. So good. So what's next for you? What's really exciting for you coming up?
Always something, right? So what usually happens is I would typically host an annual conference, and I am breaking that pattern. That's one of the things that I'm shifting. And instead I want to do mini events. I'm looking at these small quarterly events instead, because as we are getting clear on this clarity piece, I need smaller rooms where I can touch women very easily and help them to walk out of there and say, I know exactly what I want. When I ask that question, I want you to walk away and know this is it.
Lovely.
I know exactly why this is happening. And I know now we can make decisions on next steps. I do it in bigger rooms, but I know with all the noise that's happening in the world right now, we need smaller spaces where people can just close out everything and say, let's get this done. Let's get clear.
I love it. I love that. And I love the clarity that you've got on this is, what the world is needing right now is spaces that, that deeper connection can happen.
Absolutely. So. And that's one of my areas of maturing in business too, because I used to lead absolutely with my frameworks and my pillars. And I'm like, oh, we're going to go in, I'm very Virgo. So it could be real linear sometimes. But, the 50 and over version of me is like, hold on, girl, slow down. Yeah. We think differently now. And most of the women that have matured with me, they're hitting into their 50s, they're getting into perimenopause and all kind of stuff. So the brain is doing a lot.
We work differently now.
Yeah. Oh, you work differently.
We want to. Yeah.
You don't want to hustle.
Yeah.
Like
no
the
hustles.
Hustle who?
No. Yeah, no.
I was like, I can't do it. I don't have that capacity. Hustle does not work for me.
Yeah, me either. That's awesome. Yes. Awesome. Okay. So where can people learn more about you and your work and connect with you?
Yeah. So, since we've been talking about clarity and reflection, one of the great things that you can do if you're interested is go and check out my quiz that I have called the Lux Scaling Path. You're saying you want to scale, but do you really want to? If you take the quiz, it's a great place to reflect, and it may reveal an area that you really need to focus on first before making that decision. So you should have the link. You can have it in the description if you need to, but that's a great place that they can find me. And LinkedIn, look for my name, Shayla Boyd-Gill. I'm there.
Awesome. And the final question I always close with is, what are 3 pearls of wisdom you'd like to leave with us today?
Ooh, 3. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to start number 1. My mommy always told me, I call her mommy. My mommy always told me, dare to be different. When I was a little girl, she said it. And I'm like, here she is saying it again, but I live it now.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Dare to be different is super important. Number 2, no is a complete sentence.
Yes.
You have that right to say no in your business, your life, however it needs to be. And number 3, do something for yourself. Absolutely. Especially as a woman. Do it guilt-free. Especially if you have family, if you are hitting the sandwich generation, you have kids and parents. If you're a wife, if you're an aunt, if you're a sister, I don't care. Do something for yourself. We are
Mm,
usually the last to be thought of. So do something for yourself.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shayla, this has been so much fun. Thank you. I really
Thank
love
you.
how we're aligned. First of all, I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of alignment here. And I love what you're doing in the world, what you're teaching. And I think it's really important. I think more businesses really need to break over that point and, get to that next level and
Yeah.
doing it in a way that's really aligned with who they are and what their desires are. It's such a beautiful, powerful thing.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. And I'm honored just again to have been a guest here. You are beautiful. I love the work that you're doing too. So it is well.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.